ਦ ਵੇ ਫਾਰਵਰਡ ਇਸ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਹਰਜੋਤ ਸਿੰਘ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਨ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਪਹਿਲੂਆਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਔਨ ਅ ਡੇਲੀ ਲੈਵਲ ਟੱਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਪੋਲਿਟਿਕਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਉਸਦੇ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਉਸਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬਟ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਔਰ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਲੈਣ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਦੀ। ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਜ਼ੂਮ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹਨ ਹਰਸ਼ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਨੰਦ ਜੀ। ਹਰਸ਼ ਇੱਕ ਆਪ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਦੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਰ ਹਨ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਦੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਹੈਗਾ Dcx Academy, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਟੀਚਰ ਦੇ ਬਤੌਰ ਉਹ ਕਲਾਸਿਸ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਹਰਸ਼, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ।
Thank you so much for having me, Harjot. ਬਹੁਤ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਔਰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਿਖਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੜੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਇਸ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਬਟ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਫॉर ਹੈਵਿੰਗ ਮੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਮ ਐਕਸਾਈਟਡ।
No, Harsh, we thank you for taking out the time ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। So, as you said, ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਬੜੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ, ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਹਾਲੀ ਵੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਲੈਰਿਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਵੈਲਬੀਇੰਗ ਸਭ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਦੱਸੋ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ whereas we have seen lot of people benefiting a lot, who've made a lot of gains from crypto, ਕਈ ਲੋਕ ਐਸੇ ਹਲੀ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਜੋ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਡਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਆਮ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਲੋਕੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਚੀਜ਼। ਸੋ ਹਾਊ ਡੂ ਵੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਆਰ ਮਨੀ ਇਨ ਦਿਸ? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਡਾਊਨ ਕਰੋ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ?
Okay, that's good. ਮੈਂ question ਹਰ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੁਣਦਾ, ਬੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਦੀ older generation ਕਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ and obviously you're very young, but different generation ਦੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਦੀ ਡਰਦੇ ਨੇ from ਇਹ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੇ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਦਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਨਸਰ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਨਾਰਮਲ ਪੇਪਰ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡਾ ਨਾਰਮਲ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੇਪਰ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੈਂਟਰਲਾਈਜ਼ਡ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ। ਸੋ ਉਹ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਚਲਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੈਂਟਰਲ ਬੈਂਕਸ ਚਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ, ਸੈਂਟਰਲ ਬੈਂਕਸ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ, ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਔਰ ਬੈਂਕ ਦੇ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੈਲਿਊ, ਉਹ ਪੇਪਰ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਦਾ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਡਿਟਰਮਿਨ ਕਰਦੇ। So that's what centralized currency ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ decentralized currency। ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ a currency that is not created or controlled by the government। ਤੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਉਹਦੀ ਸਪਲਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਔਰ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਉਹਦੀ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ it is not created by the United States ਜਾਂ created by India ਜਾਂ created by ਕੋਈ country। So it was created by an unknown identity, an anonymous person। So cryptocurrency is similar to our paper currency, but the difference is it has much more flexibility।
ਦੇਖੋ ਹਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਆਥੋਰਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਸੈਂਟਰਲ ਬੈਂਕਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਡ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਫੀਅਰ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਚ, ਦੇ ਫੀਲ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਹਾਊ ਡਜ਼ ਅ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਅਲਾਉ ਅ ਕਰੰਸੀ to float around without it being regulated। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰੋਲ ਦੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਹਰ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ? How does the government allow that? This is the most important thing which scares people। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਆਈ ਕਿਧਰੋਂ ਹੈ, ਬਣੀ ਕਿਧਰੋਂ ਹੈ? I think we don't even know who's the person who invented this thing. Do we know?
No, it's a gentleman that goes by the name Satoshi Nakamoto, but it is an anonymous person। Nobody knows the identity jinane banaya, so we don't know who has created it।
Why?
because the person chooses to be anonymous, the person who has created the currency. And I believe at currency jo hai na, it is a movement of the new age that is starting to occur, which is far beyond what we can see right now. With Sade Akhana, we can't see where the future is. There's so much potential. But to answer the question or the concern that you brought up, jehde bande kol hai hai ke government control nahi karta hai, how is the government allowing this? So government in the beginning said कि नहीं चलेगा, स्कैम है गाय, सिर्फ ब्लैक मार्केट वाले बंदे क्रिप्टो यूज कर देन, कोई नहीं यूज कर देन। उस तो पहले बोलते सी सिर्फ गेमर जेडे हैगे वो यूज कर देन। उस तो बाद ब्लैक मार्केट वाले, फिर उस तो बाद बोल देन नहीं असी बैन कर रहे हैं। फिर उस तो बाद हुण अगर असी देखते हैं ना, इफ यू पे अटेंशन तुसी कोई भी गूगल सर्च कर सकते हो, ऑनलाइन सर्च कर सकते हो, यू आर एबल टू सी दैट some of the biggest banks in the world are investing in cryptocurrency. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo. If you're in the US, whichever bank, even in Indian banks, they are investing in cryptocurrency because they're starting to see the future and they are beginning to start to create regulations around it.
Yeah, again, this was a factor कि ਜਿਹੜੇ institutional investors ਹਨ ਉਹ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ, but as you said, now we have seen institutional investors ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੜੇ ਮਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਰਸ ਹੈਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੋਰਟਫੋਲੀਓ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਅਰਾਊਂਡ even 8 to 10% ਸਬਸਟੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ with all these regulations. I think President Biden ne kuch 2 din pehla he has said some executive order to look into this. Last year European Union ne kuch kita siga, India has started taxing the income from crypto. So do we understand ki ye sari jehdi crypto hegi hai oh ek regulatory framework de under aa rahi hai?
This movement shuru hondi bhi hai. It's a great point and topic that you just brought about. Hone shuru ho raha pehla movement into beginning of regulation, kyunki jehda Biden ne bolya si cryptocurrency de bare, it was actually good news. He said ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਛਾ US ਬਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਬਰੀਡਿੰਗ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਲੋਕੇਟ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ for them to ਠੀਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ understand and study cryptocurrencies. ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲੇਗਾ how to properly regulate it. But it is important for them to understand ਕਿਉਂਕਿ basic economics ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਵੱਡੀ basic term ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, where ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਬੈਂਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਣ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਰਕੂਲੇਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਬੈਂਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ ਪੈਸੇ, ਜਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ people keep their money in buying items or when they're using and spending money, it circulates economy. But ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਬੈਂਕ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਨਿਕਾਲ ਕੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, it is not being circulated in economy because the banks do not have access to that capital anymore. They quickly government ने आज चीज समझ लेता कि वो पूरी financial system चलती है ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਬੈਂਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ। ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਬੈਂਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ it doesn't work the same way. So that's why banks are rushing and the governments are coming to learn how to regulate and get a foot in the door at this industry.
जी। So we are seeing ज़्यादा ਜਿਹੜੀ acceptance ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। मैं I'll quickly background ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ question ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗਾ। ਜਿਹੜਾ as you said in the beginning ਕਿ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਲੀਗਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ, ਪੈਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਮੂਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ, so there would be a very limited market for these people, ਔਰ ਇਸੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿੱਤੇ। but it has come to acceptance ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਹੈ ਉਸਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਈਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ because it leaves a digital footprint. ਅਗਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੈਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, the government might not know about those deals, but ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਕਿਧਰੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, it leaves a digital footprint. So is that fair to say ਕਿ it's more easily traceable?
Hanji, so it is more easily traceable. For example, so Bitcoin is every transaction, that is one of the major cryptocurrency coins. But depending on whichever coin it is, all the cryptocurrencies have a public ledger. Jado ek banda dusre bande nu bhejda hai crypto, somebody sends somebody a transaction, all of that is recorded on the blockchain and it is traceable. But Now, where the hera-fairy or those types of things happen is if people use multiple wallets, multiple methods of distribution, then it's harder to trace. But regardless, you can always bring it to some point of origin or where the money came from. You can always follow, yes, it is all done on a public ledger. That is correct. It's safe to say that it will start to become a more safer system. Cryptocurrency, it's going to be crazy as it sounds, but concert tickets, movie tickets, plane tickets, as सारे चीज़ां cryptocurrency future ਵਿੱਚ code हो सकते हैं क्योंकि वो सारी चीज़ां duplicatable नहीं होंगे अगर वो cryptocurrency ਵਿੱਚ ठीक तरह coded है.
And you expect कि आने वाले समय ਵਿੱਚ retail ਵਿੱਚ और हर चीज़ ਵਿੱਚ ये ਜਿਹੜੀ currency है वो acceptable होएगी, is the wider circulation होएगी.
Yes. Now, I'll share my screen and I'll show you something that I want to explain, and this will help understand.
Hersh, if you'll allow me, we'll take a small break here and we'll see your screen on the other side of the break. ਅਸੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ break ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ The Way Forward. The Way Forward is ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਫਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ. ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਹਰਜੋਤ ਸਿੰਘ. ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਦੇ ਐਕਸਪਰਟ ਹਰਸ਼ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਨੰਦ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ. ਹਰਸ਼, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਦਾ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਫੈਕਟਰ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਘਬਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਨੂੰ ਖਰਚ ਕਿਤੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. You can use it for normal use, right? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਟੇਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਰੀਦ ਸਕਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਰੀਦ ਸਕਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਰੀਦ ਸਕਦੇ, ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦਾ ਟੈਕਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਕਰ ਕੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ? Is that landscape changing?
Hanji, absolutely. That landscape is beginning to change. बड़ा अच्छा question है क्योंकि सारे बड़े लोग दा एक concern on that. And what I wanted to do is share my screen and speak about something that would help people understand. And if we take a look, 1 second, I'm just going to have my screen pulled up. So if we take a look at this chart, and this chart, I believe it just came, or is it still there? There we go. Perfect. So our chart, as samjho ke it's a chart that represents the technology of households, the adoption of technology in households in the US, or you can consider developing countries which we. But I know it might look a little scary or confusing, so main badi achhi tarah samjhanda. If we take a look, koi navi technology jadon nikaldi hai, samjho flat screen TV, samjho iPhone, samjho koi Netflix, jadon nava technology nikalda hai, सोसाइटी अडॉप्ट नहीं करता ठीक तरह. पहले बोलते नहीं सानू नहीं चाहिए, सानू फ्लैट स्क्रीन टीवी नहीं चाहिए. आई रिमेंबर माय ओन पेरेंट्स सेइंग दैट साडे को वड्डा 50 इंच ट्यूब टीवी हैगा सी, बट फ्लैट स्क्रीन नहीं चाहिए सी, नवी बल्ब पाई है टीवी सानू नहीं चाहिए. Now, most developing households, they all have flat screen TVs, or it depending where you are listening in the world, because we're speaking here in terms of developing households. But to see, dekhte ho, thoda as time goes by, most people are using iPhones or using Samsung phones. They're not using flip phones anymore. Most people have, refrigerators or moving water, these types of things in their house. Again, I'm correlating to developed countries, and you need to understand कि जदों technology पहले आंदी है, फिर वो reject कर दें बंदे. Then after a time period, it comes to an area where it's close to 100% adoption, and that's where we are in the beginning stages of cryptocurrency. जिथे असी है very under 20%, under 10% adoption होने है गया, but it is starting to continue. So we can remove the chart and speak, but basically that's how I'd like people to understand is think of cryptocurrency as a technology, and it's in its infant stages, and there's so much development coming forward. There is countries like El Salvador that have made it completely legal at that the McDonald's locally has to accept Bitcoin. To see McDonald's it jaake tusi apna Bitcoin naal hamburger khareed sakde ho agar bande nu khareedna hai
ji. Acha, El Salvador ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਕਿਧਰੇ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ?
Other places as well. Mexico is starting to make it legal. In the US, you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. There has been transactions that have been done in real estate as well. Miami, California, agar koi jaan den famous famous musician David Guetta, unne apna pura penthouse becha in cryptocurrency. People have bought it. So more and more cryptocurrency transactions are occurring, and more businesses are beginning to understand that. And one cool thing I'll say, if you've ever gone to any store to buy anything, some of those fancier stores or small, even roti khan di jagah, they'll have a payment processing machine, and it will be a white payment processing machine sometimes, and the company is called Square. Jada iPad jikan lagta hai. It looks like an iPad. It looks like, very fancy. The Square payment processing company itself has invested over 50 to 100 plus million into cryptocurrency and into Bitcoin, because they see the future and they're going to incorporate payments to that inside there. And there are Bitcoin ATMs in the US already in different locations, which sounds funny, but ATM te banda jaake apna crypto wallet connect karke cash nikal sakte ho. This is able to be done as of now.
Again, if I go to the fundamentals, this is again what people are confused about. ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਈਨਿੰਗ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੋਰ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਮਾਈਨਿੰਗ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਦ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਇਜ਼ ਕਿ ਘਰ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੈਸਾ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਪੈਸਾ ਬਣਾਓ ਔਰ ATM ਤੋਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਰਹੋ, ਫਿਰ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ that it sounds too good to be true. Can you tell us how does that work?
So that's a great question. Bitcoin mining, the process on that, I was just pulling up a screen right here. There we go. So Bitcoin mining that process honda hai, just which samjho bank teller jinch bank teller confirm karda ek transaction, jado tusi koi transaction bana rahe ho ya wire transfer karde be ho.
Harsh, ek second, I'm not sure if your screen is displaying the visual. Screen, hanji.
We'll bring it up in a minute, but it's okay. So yes, so Bitcoin mining is basically tusi samjho ke jado ek banda दूसरे बंदे नु Bitcoin pays. Let's say, for example, I was to send you 1 Bitcoin. What happens is there is a mining process. That's how Bitcoin is created. Mining is, to simplify it, is just the confirming of transactions. So someone will say, Hersh is sending Harjot 1 Bitcoin, confirmed. It will go to the next miner. Hersh is sending Harjot 1 Bitcoin, confirmed. Once it is confirmed 6 times, then the Bitcoin will be received in your wallet. You'll get it from me to you. Now, the person that is working for the blockchain, bande jede miners ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ transactions ਨੂੰ confirm ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ reward ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ by the blockchain in Bitcoin. To make it the simplest way for them to be a bank teller for the cryptocurrency market, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ reward ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ in Bitcoin, and that is how Bitcoin is created from the process of mining. So ਬੰਦੇ blockchain ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, transactions confirm ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ payment ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ by the blockchain in crypto, and that is how crypto is created. That's why in the US and in China and different places you'll see that ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ farms. They have huge crypto farms, which is 100, 200, 300 ਮਸ਼ੀਨਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਔਰ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਸ਼ੀਨਾਂ ਸੇਮ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨ, ਜਿਹੜੇ crypto mining ਕਰਨ.
ਜੀ. So again, for clarification, agar koi banda kisi nu, you said, let's say ki main kisi nu 6 Bitcoin bhejda, so somebody would reward me for that. I'll make some money. Hun jada ek Bitcoin hai, that's around 42,000, let's say today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do I buy it from somewhere? First, I spend 42,000 and get it from there, or how do I send it? Where do I get it at the first instance?
That's a great question. So when you think of Bitcoin, I want you to think of Bitcoin. There's cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin, as the Dadaji of all the currencies. Think of Bitcoin as the gold, in a sense. Bande silver collect karde, bande dusre metal think of Bitcoin as gold. So banda gold ke through kharita. You go to koi dukaan, koi bande jehde tusi jande ho, they have a nice store and they sell gold. They call those dealerships, or they call those stores. Same thing with Bitcoin. To see koi exchange it's jaoge udhar kharidoge. So there's different exchanges. If you're in India, there's some big name exchanges that go by different names like Coin DCX, Binance vi hunda hai, the US it's Coinbase. There's different things. You'll actually see very big name exchanges. To see exchange te jaoge. Think of it like a car dealership. Uthe tusi apna crypto kharido. Now you don't need $42,000 to buy a whole Bitcoin. Jado banda jaake gold kharida hai, वो गोल्ड दी ज्वेलरी खरीदें या थोड़ा जा खरीदें, वो जाके सीधा बार्स नहीं खरीदें. Normally most time people don't just go and buy bars. So the same goes with Bitcoin. You don't have to invest and buy 42,000 or buy a whole coin. तुसी increments इस खरीद सकते हो जो भी तुसी बंदा afford कर सकता है as well. So you would buy it from the exchanges.
Hersh, I'm sorry, I'm digging a little more into it because clarity ਲਈ देखो again ਜਿਹੜਾ gold ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਿਧਰੋਂ ਖਰੀਦਿਆ. Right? You don't call it mining. We use the word mining when we go into the land and dig out gold, right? या diamond ਆਪਾਂ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਹੀ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਆਪ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ mining word use ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, do these people, does Harjot Singh have this capacity कि मैं ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ farm ਜਾਂ ਲਗਾ ਦਿਆਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਔਰ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ bitcoin ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ?
That's a good
what mining is.
Yes, that is, and you do have the capacity. Many investors do. I have a lot of people that I know. Now,
yes.
if we can pull a visual on my screen, normally these types of machines for Bitcoin mining, honden upwards of $10,000 to $30,000 to $50,000. सिर्फ एक machine जो produce करेगा. It doesn't mean that will produce you coins mint करेगा. But now, one thing I want to go into is, and this will explain why it's either worth it or not worth it. So, bande bolta why Bitcoin, how is it valuable? What gives it its value? One of the reasons why Bitcoin has value is because the total supply of Bitcoin is 21 million. There's only 21 million coins right now as the total supply, and you can search anywhere in the world in Bitcoin. So the matlab hai 21 million, which you 18.9 are already in circulation. So 21 million total hai, baki sirf 2 million bache mine karan vaste roughly. And out of that, now if we think about that for a second, world population ki agi hai 7.9 billion. World population agar 7.9 billion, kitne bande bol sakte hain ki I own one Bitcoin? There's only 21 million total coins that will ever exist.
Again, Hersh, I'm sorry. Why are they limited to 21 million? Agar koi government di regulation nahi hai, why is it not 40 million? Why is it not 100 million? Why 21 million?
That's a great question. Why 21 million is because the person that created Bitcoin created it with a limited supply, so that it would be a valuable currency. And this is why, in comparison to, let's say, the US fiat currency, Indian rupee, or the dinar, wherever you live, why this is so valuable compared to that. Okay, in 2020 and 2021, we had stimulus packages in the US. In the US, the government, they passed along money to every household. At paisa kidro aaya, unhone thin air which you print karke har ek banda nu paise deta. When they gave money to people, that decreased the value of the money. For example, let's say my wife, my mom more than my wife loves fancy purses, let's say Louis Vuitton purse koi valuable cheese hondi hai. Let's say people think it's valuable. Agar government da president ya prime minister ne bolya ki assi har ek family US ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ 5 Louis Vuitton ਦੇ bags ਦੇ ਦਾਂਗੇ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ family ਨੂੰ, ਤੇ ਉਹ bag ਦੀ value ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ? It will go down. Now, the thing with cryptocurrency is because there's a limited supply, the value will not be able to be going down for that reason, is because government cannot say si hor print karke pay jante.
Yeah, absolutely. Asi todi ek gal samajh liya. That's how value is created. But concept nu samjhan lai asi thodi ji gal hor karange break te us par. Ithe asi ek chota ja break lende a. Tusi ਵੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ The Way Forward. The Way Forward is ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਫਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਹਰਜੋਤ ਸਿੰਘ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕ੍ਰਿਪਟੋ ਕਰੰਸੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਹਰਸ਼ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਨੰਦ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ। ਹਰਸ਼, ਅਗੇਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦ ਬੇਸਿਕਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਵੀ ਕੀਪ ਸੇਇੰਗ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ, ਜਨਰਲੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਲਡ ਓਵਰ ਹਾਲੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਕਲੈਰਿਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਵੀ ਲਾਈਕ ਟੂ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ, ਆਪਾਂ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਹੁਣ ਲੈਟਸ ਸੇ ਅਗਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਟਾਕ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਟਾਕ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਜਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸੋ ਕੁਝ ਪੈਰਾਮੀਟਰਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੱਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਜੀ ਤੇਲ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਰਿਟੇਲ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਰਿਟੇਲ ਥੱਲੇ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਵੀ ਗੈਟ ਸਮ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ। ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਟਾਈਮ ਵਿੱਚ at least I have not understood what affects cryptocurrencies, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਹੈ। if an average person ਸਾਡਾ 25 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੰਦਾ, he wants to know ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਲਗਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਨਾ ਲਗਾਂ, what are the parameters you would say which determine Bitcoin's value? ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਥੱਲੇ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਹਾਲੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ। ਕਿਉਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਆਏਗੀ? where do we judge? How do we know that?
That's a great question. And one of the things that I would like to explain when you're thinking about this, right? Main cheez, first thing I want to explain is, I'll share my screen as well. We respect gold, right? And I think gold is a very valuable asset that we invest in. And a lot of people invest in gold. Agar asi gold the market capitalization dekhde hain, the matlab basically hunda hai the value of all the gold in the world. If we look at the market cap, ਤੁਸੀਂ Google ਤੇ ਵੀ simple search ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. It's about 12.2 trillion. That is the value of all gold. So if we think about that, 12.2 trillion, and if we type in Bitcoin market capitalization, I'm just going to open up a quick chart that shows me this, and I don't want you to get scared, but total capitalization on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is sitting around 2 trillion, and at its height, it was at 3 trillion. So 2 trillion, and at its height, it was at 3 trillion. So if we think about that, right now, Bitcoin is, how many years has gold been out there for? Hundreds and hundreds of years, bande gold khareed rahe hain aur value ditta unhone. And when you think of Bitcoin, there's a few different factors that change the value of it. Now, this screen is important to see. This is called Bitcoin halving. So jadon tusi mining de bare ch puch rahe si, right? I want you to understand, so far, Bitcoin has come to close to 20% of the total market capitalization of gold already, and it has only been living for less than 15 years. The other thing is that, now how Bitcoin was created, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੋਲ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ confirm ਕਰਦਾ transactions, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ Bitcoin ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਨ. Yes, somebody can do it from their house, but the people that did it before, it was most profitable, because ਇੱਕ half life ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ Bitcoin ਦੀ। ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ 2010 to 2014 ਮਾਈਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਬੇਸੀ ਬਿਟਕੋਇਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਵਾਰਡ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਸੀ 50 coins from the block. The block would pay them more. Then ਹਰ 4 ਸਾਲ the reward that the miners receive gets cut in half. So when a halving occurs, that means it constricts the supply. ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ supply itna jada supply banda nahi bia, because the supply, the creation of Bitcoin is getting cut in half har 4 saal samjho. So pehli wari jado halving hoya, Bitcoin da price shoot up ho gaya. Us to baad har 4 saal baad 2020 ch ek hor halving ho gaya si. When the second halving happened in 2020, Bitcoin shot up and went from 25 to 12.5 reward. So the next halving is occurring in 2024. 2024 is the rewards the miners will receive will get cut in half one more time. So the people that mined in the early of the years from 2010 to 2016, they have made the most amount of, or received the most amount of coins for the same amount of work that is being done today. So those halvings actually have a correlation to the price shooting up when it comes to Bitcoin. And that is one of many things that you can look at.
So these halvings, do they announce it? How do we know when is the next halving is going to happen?
So every 4 years it occurs. So 2024, you can look up the exact date roughly when it's going to happen. It is public knowledge. Everything is public knowledge when it comes to cryptocurrency. Now, another thing that I'll explain, and I'm going to have to pull up a chart for this. And I know this is not going to look too scary, but Let's say we take a look at this right here. This is very important for people to understand. This is called the Wall Street cheat sheet. Now, jitna bhi bande sochte hain ki good investor hai ya on, many people tend to invest with emotions rather than investing with technical skills or long-term skills or long-term understanding. So honda ki hai jado Bitcoin upar ja raha hai, samjho it's going to 20,000, people have optimism, 20,000 de aaspaas se 30,000 te chala gaya. While Bitcoin is on its climb up, there are many people that say, I'm not going to buy until Bitcoin, man, I don't realize Bitcoin as a real asset. Jab tak 40,000 nahi pahunchta hai, jab tak 50,000 nahi pahunchta hai. When Bitcoin reaches these areas, it goes from optimism to belief to thrill or euphoria ch bande ethe khareedde. This is the biggest issue of most people in the market because they don't understand the cycle of the market. Belief and thrill is when they buy Bitcoin or crypto or any asset. This also refers to stocks. Then what happens is there's a big dip that has to come in the market. Every market goes through a cycle. Most market cycles look like this. And then there will be complacency and the person, hey, it'll go up. Anxiety, denial. They bande panic ich bechde hain aur anger ich bechde hain, bolte hain yaar mere sare paise Bitcoin scam hai, chalda nahi hai. Main thing is kyunki wo 10 saal di vision naal nahi khareede ben, they're buying this with a short-sighted vision. If I just quickly pull up a chart on Bitcoin and I want you to just take a look at what I'm showing you here. Now, this is 2017, what occurred in 2017. If this is just price of Bitcoin, we can see it started from 4,000 to 3,000, went up. This chart just represents the price. Don't get scared when you look at it. Goes all the way up to 20,000 the aspas. Fir gir gaya. If we take a look at this chart, और मैं आ chart nu puri tarah highlight karna. If you take a look at this, and if we take a look at this, does it not look like a same spitting image of each other? And this is because what is the same? The one constant amongst all markets. Amongst all markets, the one constant is human emotion. So when this occurs, people are scared. The long-term investors are buying more because they know the next cycle will break further past the previous cycle. If you go all the way back to even when Bitcoin first broke $1,000 and you zoom in, it looks exactly the same. Every cycle tends to look exactly the same. And that's the reason why we tend to show people and have them understand how this works and how the markets work. So yes, how does somebody know when to buy? I would tell you right now, if you're thinking of cryptocurrency, think of crypto as if banda Dubai या New York या Manhattan land खरीद कर रहा है, land खरीद रहे हैं in the 1800s. Imagine if you're buying land in the 1800s, that's where we are today in cryptocurrency. There will be a time there'll be one coin will be worth $1 million and you're going to say, oh my gosh, I should have bought it at 40. There'll be a time where it'll be well past it because of the limited supply and because of mass adoption that is occurring.
That's very profound and very enticing what you're saying. The fear still remains कि आपा ए पैसा लगा दिए and maybe after 10 years it has no value at all. Is that a fear that you come across in the industry all the time?
Yes, that is a fear. That's a good question. And I like to challenge that fear with a sense that I tell people, to see, let's say somebody's a lawyer, somebody's a doctor, somebody's an engineer, or kam karin, paisa banan vaste. And they're earning dollars. Let's say you're working in the US. The dollar that you are earning is losing value year by year. It is the depreciating asset. If your dollar is losing value, the government is printing as much as they would like. They say every few hundred years, the means of the currency that we use changes. Asi back in the day, pehle barter system honda si. Tusi sanu, let's say koi, sheep da wool de do, koi jacket banana se. If you give me wool, then I will give you, cow's milk. Then some people used to do barter system. Then it went from there to trading rocks, trading shells, then trading gold, then trading paper currency, which is where we are now. Then paper got digitalized. We had credit cards. So think about this, that if our currency has to evolve, it evolves every few hundred years, whether we believe it or not, it evolves. We are on the brink of that evolution. What would be the next form of currency or payment that we may use? And there's nothing else that looks better than what's out right now, and it's cryptocurrency. Again, cryptocurrency is in the Nokia Snake stages. Did a Nokia games on them? That's where we are now. There's so much more innovation to come.
So the way it has come across, it's understood at least by a layman like me, it sounds more like a product than as a currency. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਲੂਈ ਵੁਟਨ ਦੇ ਬੈਗਸ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਉਸਦੀ ਸਪਲਾਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘੱਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਸਦੀ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਵਧਾਈ ਹੈ products like Hermes, they don't flood the market with their products, right? They keep a limited supply, but they're products, right? ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਕਲੈਰੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਰ ਮੰਗਾਂਗਾ still for our audience, for our viewers, but ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਦ ਵੇ ਫਾਰਵਰਡ ਦ ਵੇ ਫਾਰਵਰਡ ਇਸ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਫਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਹਰਜੋਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਹਰਸ਼ ਕੁਇਕਲੀ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੈਕਗ੍ਰਾਉਂਡ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਇਕਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ ਲਾਸਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਸੋ ਇਜ਼ ਇਟ ਅ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ right? Just a product, or why do you see it as a currency? To see quickly, that's all, because then we'll take it to today expertise asi fayda chakange. As we said, sari bahut communities that's involved hegi hai, particularly the young people, and you are the first expert we have come across who does it at a really sophisticated, educated level. So let's talk about: is it a product? Is it a currency?
That's a great question, Hanji. And I will just say, it's a currency. And the reason being is because right now it just hasn't been mass adopted to purchase things. But as a currency, for example, and this is why it's so attractive compared to the dollar. Samjho agar meri koi family in India again, I have a lot of family in India. Let's say I wanted to send them money. Then I got wire transfer kita koi bank with you. That currency takes a long time to reach. It takes 5 business days. The bank has to be working. They can't be on a bank holiday. Now, if I was to send cryptocurrency, depending on what currency it is, they'll get it between 1 minute and 30 minutes. And I could send $1 million or $100 million. The speed of the transaction will still be the same. And the flat fee will be the same. It will be the same $2, $5, $10 fee, not as the banks may change the fees depending on the amount of currency you're sending. So what I mean to say is cryptocurrency, the way it's used, the way it's designed, jiਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਖਰੀਦ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, wallet ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, it's designed to be a currency, not a product. But cryptocurrency has created innovations like NFTs and different things that can be considered in some way, shape, or form assets or products as well.
Mm-hmm. So there's innovation going on all the time. It's still a new thing, right? Navi cheeza aa rahi hain, right?
Hanji, absolutely.
What do you see the future of this particular thing in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a great question. So think about this. Facebook, the biggest social networking platform in the world, ne apna pura naam change kar leta to Meta. Why? That's crazy. That's because Mark Zuckerberg sees the future, और उन्हें पता है कि where the future is going is digital realities. They call that metaverse now. Simulated reality, digital reality. Just which it looks like jede bacche video game खेलते हैं, it looks exactly like that only. But difference क्यों होगा? बंदा let's say काम करेगा, लॉयर का काम करेगा, दिन च अकाउंटिंग का काम करेगा, आईटी ते वापस आके पैसे कमा के फिर वो अपने एक चश्मे पाएंगे which will take them into the digital reality. I know it sounds crazy, just how we are speaking virtually through Zoom, but imagine you're actually there with putting glasses on and you tell your friends, chalo assi tennis khediye, chalo assi chalde aa the disco te, chalo assi casino chalde, and you can do that in the metaverse. There are already metaverse casinos and these types of things built. So in the future, what I see is more and more people are going to earn money, come home and live in the digital reality as opposed to the real world. I have friends that DJ in digital clubs. I have friends that have done weddings in digital clubs in the metaverse already. This is already occurring as we speak.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a right direction. That's a different debate altogether. But we are hearing about companies developing these digital companions where you can pick particular characteristics of a person, create an artificial person, and speak to that person when you come home, right? So
yes,
I think that's what you're alluding to. I don't know how healthy is that, but that would be a different episode altogether. Right, but Harsh, I really want to thank you for bringing all this, for enlightening us. A सारी चीज जेडी तुसी सानू दसी है, it's something new, and what I would like अपने जो साडे viewers and what I would like them to take away from today's talk is what Hersh said. It's like buying land in Manhattan in 1800s. अब आप सोच सकते हैं कि 1800 ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਲੈਂਡ ਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਕੀ ਸੀ ਅਗਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਲਿੱਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਸਨੇ ਲੈਂਡ तो ਅੱਜ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਕੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਸੀ ਮਗਰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਗਾਰੰਟੀ ਹਰਸ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦਾ let's see Harsh, this is something new, very exciting, very freshening. Toda interest is there which kiਵੇਂ ਬਣਿਆ crypto which I see that you have invested yourself. You were a professional earlier doing something else. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣਿਆ
ਹਾਂਜੀ and this is a good question. I get asked this all the time because I've always had an interest in investing and learning about trading and things like that. In college, I studied economics and I did my thesis on hedge funds and private equity investment styles. I always wanted to get in some kind of industries like this. And I was doing, normal odd jobs after college. I started working in the industry of insurance. And I had a lot of friends that were in crypto, close friends from mine, jehde college de dost thi. Aur wo crypto kar rahe hain. 5 saal pehle mere dost ne mainu puchha, 2015 ach actually, he asked me, Harsh, would you like to join me on this journey in learning about trading? At that time, I said, nahi yaar, mere ko economics degree hai, you go learn and I'll do this. And this was a Gora friend of mine. And because in South Jersey, there weren't that many Indians. So I had a lot of white friends at that time. And he studied communications. 5 saal baad, I see this gentleman speaking on stages in front of thousands of people. I see him with celebrities and I see him teaching people about crypto. And this happened in the lockdown, 2020, in the beginning of the lockdown. And I'm sitting at home, I have nothing better to do. I have extra cash sitting in the bank. And I said, yaar, I need to learn this trading. I said, this person can do it. Or unhone mathematics, study nahi kita. He knows something that I don't know. And I said, listen, are you willing to teach me? And I always hear this phrase from mentorship. And sometimes men have an ego in learning from somebody else who's more successful in some industry than them. And I had to put all ego aside and say, you are where I want to be. Would you please teach me? And that's where I first started, by opening a door and learning from a mentor who had success in crypto. So that's where I piqued my interest, because I kept hearing Bitcoin this, Ethereum that, and then I dove in deep. In 2020, I sat home for maybe 2-3 months straight just to learn all about this cryptocurrency type of things.
So that's awesome. That's awesome to know. And you teach at some Dcx Academy. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, absolutely. I teach on a Dcx Academy. It's actually the world's largest cryptocurrency academy and we have about 20 different languages of education. So ਇੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਵੀ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ. We teach about cryptocurrency. ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈਗੇ students about 500 or so India ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ 500 or so students from Pakistan. We have 400,000 students all around the world. So that's what I teach on a daily basis. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days a week. मैं cryptocurrency सिखांदा. वो academy च live trading भी सिखांदे and सब कुछ. They teach you the way forward. Just the same way you have the way forward, we teach you the way forward.
That's why we have you here. ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੀ important ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸੀ ਹੈ. ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ viewers ਇਸ ਨੂੰ closely ਸੁਣਨ ਕਿ there's an academy called Dcx Academy where they teach crypto, where Hersh teacher ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਪ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ 5 ਦਿਨ ਹਫਤੇ 'ਚ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਲਾਸ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਲਾਈਵ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੀ said, right? Is that right?
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੇ ਹਰਸ਼ ਜੀ That's awesome. That's very good to learn, and a sara ek, still ek, the word crypto, I think, means hidden, right? ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਹਿਡਨ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਸ ਲਈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਲੇ ਸਟਿਲ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸ਼ੇਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ. ਬਟ ਐਜ਼ ਵੀ ਲਰਨ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਥੀਸ ਅਕੈਡਮੀਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਥੀਸ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਐਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕਮ ਆਊਟ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧਦਾ ਹੈ. ਐਂਡ ਐਜ਼ ਯੂ ਸ਼ੋਡ ਦ ਚੈਟਸ ਯੂ ਸ਼ੋਡ ਜਦ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਗੋਜ਼ ਅਪ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਹਰਸ਼, ਜਾਂਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, right? They were hoping उन्होंने इन्वेस्ट किया इसलिए कीमतां क्रिप्टो दी डिगी दी हैं. They were hoping कि वो कीमतां वापस नहीं आएंगी. काफी देर तो कीमतां जड़ियां थोड़े थले चल रही हैं. They feel shaky. वो थोड़ा जा कॉन्फिडेंस लूज कर दें कि क्या ये स्कैम सीगा और साढ़े हाथों ये चीज निकल गई है, और should they wait and it will go up again? आज तोड़ा उन्हें लिए की एडवाइस हैगा?
That's a really good question, and one thing I'd be more I want to focus on the point of education is that crypto as saal और पिछले साल सब तो ज़्यादा scam भी हुआ ऐसी crypto नाल, क्योंकि थोड़ा पैसा इतना जल्दी वापस नहीं आ सकता है. So I would really strongly encourage people to educate themselves first before they invest in anything. And right now I want you to have long-term vision. The whole crisis that we have going on in the world right now with Ukraine and Russia, I'll tell you in one scenario how this also correlates to crypto. Russia is banned from using the world SWIFT banking system. तो जड़ा world banking system बंदे use कर दें global trade हस्ते और trade कर दें pounds, yens, dollar, Canadians, right, or euros, वो allowed नहीं है ना उस banking system use करने से. So अगर रशिया ने कोई dealings करनी है, चाइना रशिया का दोस्त बन जाएगा और उन्होंने बोला ऐसी तैयार है कोई भी कुछ भी खरीदना ऐसी, they will start to do transactions, and if they cannot use paper currency or fiat currency, what currency will they have to rely on? And that's going to be cryptocurrency. So I want you to understand, even in the midst of crisis or what's happening, you can research online. People from Ukraine that cannot access their banks because their banks are not working are praising cryptocurrency. Because cryptocurrency now they're surviving or run the bank because they're allowed to do transactions regardless of the bank. They don't need an ATM or no cash nahi chahiye. So what I would say is, wait 6 to 8 months from this video right now, and you're going to be happy with your investments in crypto. I'll say that there's one direction that everything's going to go in the overall time. And as we spoke about Bitcoin, the halving jara ho raha hai, 2024, you will see another large increase in cryptocurrency. So have long-term vision and do not invest with money you are not willing to lose. Understand what you're investing in, get comfortable, educate yourself in the market. People study IT because they think IT is the future, because of software development is the future. The next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, cryptocurrency education is going to be the number one point of interest.
Hersh ji da aaj sanu salah eh hegi hai that we hold on to our investments, have some patience, and things are going to change in the next 6 to 8 months. Or aane wala future, according to Hersh, is very bright for cryptocurrency. Hersh, आज साडे नाल गल करन दा बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. It was really enlightening. I encourage our viewers to get in touch with you. Hersh Singh Anand, cryptocurrency, as I see that you're doing a lot of community outreach as well. We will encourage, and I'm sure you'll hear from people after today's show. आज साडे नाल गल करन दा बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure being able to speak. And I think साडी community ਨੂੰ education ਬਹੁਤ important ਹੈ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ.
Definitely. Thank you so much. AC ਸਾਡਾ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ The Way Forward.